The updated 2024 Kia Sorento now includes a more off-road friendly XS Prestige X-Pro trim. That makes this the most rugged and luxurious Sorento you can get. Let's take a closer look. Looking at the front of the car, you can see that it's definitely got a more off-road friendly, more boxy, more rugged shape. You can also definitely see cues of the Kia Telluride and the design success that brings being proliferated across the Kia SUV lineup. I do quite like the pattern baked into the grille here, and I like that it's an interesting gloss black, and it's not massive. It's still a reasonable size, and it's got these interesting accents, this finished metal piece at the bottom, but then more black at the top, and then the headlights go quite a ways. We've got these running beams that go all the way across, and then vertically stacked headlights, just like the Telluride right there. We also have this interesting accent piece way off to the side to add visual width to this car. And even from the front, you can see just how aggressive these BF Goodrich tires look at the very least. The 2021 Kia Sorento front end was a big improvement over the third generation model, and I personally think that this takes it another step forward. It's a nice look. But even with all the improved styling, I still want to know more about what's under the hood. Well, there you have it, a turbocharged 2.5 liter inline 4 mounted transversely or side to side like that. This is an inherently front wheel drive car-based crossover SUV, and several trims of Kia Sorento are offered in front wheel drive versions, but the SX Prestige is all wheel drive only. This turbocharged engine, we've seen it in a lot of Hyundai, Genesis, and Kia products, and it makes a very healthy 281 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. The lower trim Kia Sorentos also get a 2.5 liter, but it's naturally aspirated and makes 191 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque. I do love seeing this exposed, beefy engine mount right there, and I do like the piping for the turbo as well, which is tucked right back there. Looks like there's a lot of areas to help trap the heat so that it can fire up the catalytic converter really quickly. Tucked way back, that's the ABS pump back there. And the battery is tucked back as well. And you've got this pretty big air box right there. The axle center line is right around here, right at the front of the strut towers basically. So much of the engine is ahead of the front axle center line, but considering that it's all-wheel drive, it's not the worst defender that I've seen. And finally, windshield washer fluid's real easy to get at right here. Looking at the car in profile, this gives you a better chance to look at the Road Runner brown paint. It's very much an earth tone kind of color, and we are looking at the passenger side because that's where the sun is. This looks a little bit more typical crossover SUV from here, but there are some nice styling details. I do like this black piece that starts at the front quarter panel and goes into the door. I think these black side view mirror covers look nice, and I do like this little lens built into it there. And the black window trim fits it as well, especially with this beefy roof rack that you get on top right here. This is a bridge type roof rack, Kia calls it. And generally speaking, I think the profile look of this car fits the rest of it. And it also helps highlight these special X-Pro wheels. The base wheel on a Kia Sorento is also a 17, but it's not this black 17-inch wheel right here. And you can get up to 20s on the Sorento. But this is a special black 17-inch that gives you these nice fat sidewalls and these BF Goodrich all-terrain tires. This is 65 series rubber, helps soften up the ride and all the little imperfections of the road without any trouble. As you can see, we already found some unpaved roads, but as I understand it, we're going to see a lot more soon. And yes, this is a square setup. The wheels in the back are the same size as the wheels in front. Looking at the car from the back, one of the styling updates is we now have these vertical tail lights right here, and it's an interesting like upside down U shape that I find really interesting. This hunk of bodywork being right there. This is actually nice and subtle. It doesn't say SX Prestige in any big lettering anywhere. You do have the new Kia logo right here, Sorento, and then just a nice tastefully sized X-Pro logo right there. I'm happy to see the restraint that Kia pulled. Now we do have these more rugged looking bumpers, and you know, they look fine. They look perfectly reasonable, fits the rest of the car. And thank goodness, no weird fake exhaust tips or anything like that. Just one big real exhaust tip right there, doing everything it needs to. All right, let's take a look inside. Right now, the third row seats are folded down, which means that we have, depending on the trim Sorento you get, between 39 and 45 cubic feet of cargo behind the second row. Perfectly reasonable. You can also see that the third row gets some USB Type-C ports on either side, and you have these nice straps to pull the third row back up without any trouble. Headrests pull up like that. You do also have a couple of tow hooks down here on either side, and a little bit of extra storage underneath the floor right there. It's actually pretty deep out at the ends here. That's nice. That's a good 6-8 inches. But putting the third row back down is easy. You just take these straps, pull on them, and let the seat down like that. And with the third row up, I should have mentioned before I put them down, you get 13 cubic feet of storage. Not that much, but more than nothing. And if you need to put down the second row, that's actually quite easy to do because we have 12-volt power right here and these two buttons right here. A couple quick presses of those buttons and now you have 76 cubic feet of cargo space and room for you and a passenger. Pretty darn healthy. And I'm sure it would be plenty of room for my bike, but no, I did not bring my bike with me to Colorado. And that's what it looks like with the seats folded all the way down. All right, let's take a look inside. This is a 3-row SUV, and because we have the captain's chair second row, it is a 6-passenger vehicle, 222, and we also have this lovely little button on the captain's chairs to get easy access to the third row. But as you can see, these are teeny tiny little baby seats for teeny tiny little people that are not full size like me. So you'll just have to trust me that if you're small enough, this is a great option. But I am not small enough. Okay, moving on to the second row. First of all, the back door does swing out quite wide, so you have nice wide entry into the seat. You also have plenty of adjustment built into the seat. You have the button back here. You also have another button right here to do the same thing. And you can see that the seat easily slides. You also have seat back adjustment here and manual seat bottom adjustment for fore aft movement there as well. With the second row seats all the way back, I have plenty of leg room, plenty of knee room, a good 6 to 8 inches. I am 5 feet 11 inches tall, or 181 centimeters, and I feel very comfortable. The seat bottoms are nice and high, so I have good thigh support. I do have headroom, even though we have a panoramic moonroof, and I also have a much less than 90-degree bend in my knees. And check this out. Look at all the stuff we have back here. So this is an SX Prestige trim, which means we've got sunshades, heated seats, cup holders, nice armrest baked into the door right here, second armrest built into the seat right here, and it is adjustable. You can hear the ratcheting of it. AC power right here, 12-volt accessory power right here. Still not done. Each front seat also has a built-in USB Type-C port built into the back of that. So we have 2 more USB Type-C ports as well. And this perforated leather seating is nice and comfortable too. This is a great second row and perfectly comfortable for adults. And the first row is even better. Okay, so technically this interior is black, but this particular Kia Sorento does have the $295 optional olive brown leather package. So that means we have this more tan colored leather seating and a lot of different leather trim pieces here and on the door as well. And that makes a huge difference for it to be two-tone. To me, this is easily worth $295 because it really lightens up the interior quite a bit and just makes it feel, I don't know, better to me. Not so dark. We do have the typical controls on the door, including 2-position seat memory right there. We also have 14-way adjustable driver seat right here, including adjustable thigh extensions right here, and 4-position lumbar support right there. The passenger seat is also powered, but it is 10-way powered. We also have a couple of controls to the left of the steering wheel, including your tailgate lift and traction control. And we do have a nice little reminder that you have an X-Pro Sorento right there embossed into the seat. The seat itself offers good support and good comfort and has good upper bolsters right here and pretty decent lower bolsters as well. So it is all the way around comfortable, and you can adjust both tilt and telescope of the steering manually right here. Base Sorrentos get a 4.3-inch small screen in the center of analog gauges, but in the higher trims you get a fully digital 12.3-inch instrument cluster screen right there, and immediately next to that the standard 12.3-inch center console touchscreen. And it follows this subtle curve, so this is your curved panoramic display that Kia calls it. Push button start is right here, and there is your instrument cluster and your center console touchscreen lit up. We also have a nice thick rim for the steering wheel and several controls on it. Lots of media controls to the left and cruise control options to the right. And I do appreciate this volume up, down, and mute built right into the steering wheel buttons right there. Standard equipment for the 12.3-inch center console touchscreen is wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. For most trims, you also get a dual zone climate control system, but not the base LX trim. This being a top trim, we also have a wireless smartphone charger right there, 2 more USB ports right there, heated and ventilated seats for both front passengers, and 2 cup holders and a nice storage space right there. We've also got a heated steering wheel, an electric park brake, hill descent control, and this style right here gives us options to our many different drive modes. Pretty typical brindle right here, and plenty more space down here in the lower center console. And this tray is removable. Looking up, we do have a couple of buttons for lights and things like that, as well as electric control to the privacy panel of the panoramic roof. It's all very lovely. But before we completely get away from up high, because this is a top trim, we also have a digital rear view mirrors that doubles as a screen to show you the camera system right here. We're in Colorado. There is still a lot of snow. All right, let's talk drive modes. We have several drive modes right here. We've got Smart, Sport, Eco, Normal, and Snow. Also, push this button here to lock the center diff. You get this screen right here. And if you prefer, you can see your different drive modes right here as well. So there you have it, the updated 2024 Kia Sorento. This one, an SX-Prestige X-Pro, a brand new trim for the 2024 model year. I'm Robin Warner. Thank you very much for watching.